Okay, so I haven't touched Silk Song in almost 4 months. I haven't beaten the game. I'm not even necessarily stuck at a particular point. I kind of just stopped playing. This isn't like the first time that I've done this either. It only seems to happen with specific types of games at specific moments. It's kind of this unconscious decision, and I kind of just stopped going back. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I think I might have figured out why I put these games down. But that being said, there's more to it than that. Before I get to that moment where I unconsciously put certain games down for good, I do something kind of strange first. Like, let's take Silk Song, for example. I can think of a few points in that game, like right before the Morrowind boss fight, or Carmelita in Act 3, where you obviously can't progress any further until you defeat those bosses. I noticed that when I anticipate that there's going to be a big boss fight, I'll even go into right before you challenge Carmelita, for example, and I'll be like, oh, here's the moment where it all starts. This is where I have to go get the heart or whatever it's called. I don't know what it is, but something inside my brain stops me from attempting it, makes me turn around and go back through every single inch of the map that I've progressed through up to that point. Not just to simply look for upgrades or things that will, make it easier to defeat the boss, making my character stronger or whatever. But no, it's just to find other shit to do. It doesn't matter what it is, just something else besides the boss fight. What I realized is I'm just fucking avoiding the boss fight. I'm avoiding the stress of the boss fight. I'm avoiding the sweaty palms and the hand cramps from button mashing. I have a fucking anxious avoidant attachment style with video games, as crazy as that sounds. And dude, you mix that shit with my ADHD coded brain and you get a guy who brings the procrastination that I experience in my working life and my responsibilities life and brings them into my fucking hobbies, which is so crazy. I know how obnoxious that sounds, but it's true. It's funny too, because it definitely changes by the day. Sometimes I can't get enough of some challenging platforming section or a hard as fuck boss or whatever. It just kind of depends. I feel there's so much you can learn about yourself by the way that you approach games, especially certain ones. Are you a Souls-like person? Do you like that punishment and mastery aspect of it? Are you a cozy gamer type that just likes Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing and not being stressed at all, zero? Or are you the type that likes the kind of on-rails cinematic storytelling like Uncharted or The Last of Us or whatever? I'm some combination of the three, as I assume most of us are. I know there's people that are just obsessed with Souls-likes and love the punishment and are total sadists. And I know there's people that really don't just like cozy games and can't handle the stress at all of a challenge in a game. And I assume, just like any of you, I have a very particular relationship with games. I always have. I love that feeling of beating a boss that keeps fucking killing me over and over, or being scared shitless, playing Resident Evil 7. But I also kind of hate it. I don't know, it's so complicated and hard to explain. I'm just trying to unpack it all. And the more I thought about it, it's that anxious energy can be super fun. It can be super exciting and engaging, and the sweaty hands and the teeth clenching, etc. But as I've gotten older, I mostly enjoy the adventure of games, the story. But that being said, I love the exploration, gameplay, the vibe, the challenge of games like Silk Song. I fell in love with that game when it came out in September. But every time I know I'm coming up on a hard boss that I have to beat to progress to the parts of the game that I truly enjoy, those exploration moments, that same fucking anxious avoidant attachment style starts to show its face again. The most clear example that I can give that kind of helped me understand this part of myself was that Carmelita boss fight in Act 3 of Silk Song, like I mentioned earlier. I know that if I just locked in and practiced, maybe watched a guide or two, if I got stuck too many times, I totally could have beat her and I could have moved on. But I don't know, that's the thing. It wasn't that I thought I couldn't do it. It felt more as I've gotten older, had kids, gotten so fucking busy, I don't play games to feel that way anymore. Life's kind of hard enough at this age, especially with ADHD, to be honest. And some of you for sure will know what I'm talking about there. I'm stressed enough, man. I'd rather put a game down and move on to something that's gonna give me what I need from it, essentially. I no longer need that sense of accomplishment from video games, specifically, unless it feels like something that's worth the investment. And I'm not like, if I'm spending all my time being frustrated, if I'm spending all my time feeling angry and getting stressed out and like facing the real physiological consequences of that, you know what I'm talking about as you get older. But the key phrase there is that if it's worth the investment, because there are things that are. Like a perfect exception to this I can think of off the top of my head is God of War 2018. Like I spent hours working on defeating the Valkyrie Queen, you know, after I rolled credits. And for whatever reason, it was just kind of the right amount of not too punishing, but hard enough to keep me, you know, chipping away at it and keep me engaged. Just good game design is what I would call it, at least if, you know, I'm their target audience, the type of gamer that I am. I'm an old man now. I have 2 tiny monsters at home and a wife, and, you know, I'm a fucking boomer in my early 30s. And even though I make tons of time for games, I make it a priority in my life. I'm just such a busy guy that I honestly don't give a shit about the grind and the stress that accompanies it anymore, and like taking up too much of my time or too much of my mental energy getting too stressed out. I'd rather spend that kind of intense effort at work or on YouTube, you know? Now, is this cope? You might be asking. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, but I kind of don't really care either. Something you'll realize as you get older. I'm sure that no matter how eloquently I explain this, there's going to be some people that watch this and just go, but the reason at its core that I play video games has changed, and that's okay. You know, I'm curious. Thinking about all this has made me wonder if it's just me, if I'm the only one that feels this way, or if there's other people, especially as you've gotten older. You know, I wonder if like even Zoomers that don't have the long list of responsibilities that I do as an old guy. And so like every game you play, every investment of your time you make, you have to decide like, is this worth my time? Is this worth it? Is it worth the cost? Whatever the cost is to you. You know, it can be lots of different things. It's funny too, because I love horror games. Like Resident Evil 7 was such a cool experience. Resident Evil 8 was great. I haven't played 9 yet. I love that kind of stress. I love that edge of my seat. You know, you don't know what's going to happen next. It's almost like a roller coaster ride. It's so fun, right? To be scared. And like, but that's not exactly the kind of stress I'm talking about. I feel like the stress of locking in and like, you know, hitting the right button combos and dodging at the right time and parrying at the right time and like all that kind of micromanaging in my brain, that's the kind of stress that I don't really like anymore in a game, because it's the same kind of stress that I deal with managing the kids and shit around the house, managing work day to day, and like navigating life and responsibilities. And dude, that's it. That's the same stress. That's why I don't like it. I kind of just had a realization as I was filming this. It's that same kind of stress that you experience in your responsibilities in your daily life that's in games. That's when I'm like, you know, it's like the Captain America meme. I'm just like, you know, I don't think so. I think I'm done. And you know what? I will go back and finish that Carmelita fight and the rest of Act 3. Eventually, maybe, you know, maybe after I check a few more corners or anything else I missed. So yeah, with that, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you sticking to the end. I know your time's valuable, so I always appreciate you, you know, spending it with me. Thanks for sticking around while I try something different. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what comes next, what we're doing here. So if this kind of shit is your cup of tea, maybe consider subscribing. I'd appreciate that. Also, giving the video a like if you liked it, and if you disliked it, make sure to dislike it. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.